This is Corolla Digital.
Hello, my little snickerdoodles. It's me, Allison. Before the show officially starts, we have time to discuss some things. First of all, Gary, how are you feeling? For those who don't know, Gary has been ill, with a flu, cold thing.
I'm better. Not 100% yet, but definitely the first day I felt better than a day before.
Good. I'd like to let everyone know that you're wearing a very bright green T-shirt in honor of St. Patrick's Day.
And Selection Sunday. It's also got my my college's logo right in the middle of the shamrock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As I know, Selection Sunday is a big day for you.
I know. I painted my face and everything. What's Selection Sunday?
You know the big tournament that they have every March where 64 basketball teams in college all compete together? We did a rendition of it for the
I
Find
do.
Alice and a Boyfriend thing.
Mm-hmm. That, for people who don't know, that was something we did on the Kroll Show, and that makes me sound pathetic. And maybe I am. Who knows? It didn't work, though, but I found one on my own.
Yeah, so the tournament there's a Sunday every March where they
Okay, I'm sorry I asked.
The teams.
Anyway, I feel like St. Patrick's Day snuck up on me this year, even though I do nothing to observe it and I don't even wear green. Just try to pinch me, motherfuckers. Anyway, I want to say something, which is my own brain is frustrating me lately a lot. Like, I'm very sick of myself, and what I'm talking about specifically is my inability to make a decision. I've always been an indecisive person, but I just feel like it's flaring up in this really uncomfortable for me and for people immediately surrounding me way. This is a very, just me problem. I know that it's not a real problem, especially because, and I actually talked about this with Dr. Drew on his podcast, I don't have problems making important decisions. I don't have problems, figuring out if I want to move or career things or really who I'm in love with or anything like that. Which is good. I'm glad that stuff is not, I'm not paralyzed making those decisions, but it's the little things, all those tiny decisions that you have to make throughout the day so that you don't just get stuck. Those are the ones that I have trouble with. And I feel like it's getting worse. And, I'm curious how other people who don't have this problem, how they make decisions. Like, what is a healthy decision-making process? I remember I was asking Daniel, that is my boyfriend, I was asking him why he chose the color car he chose or how he chose. And he said, I don't know, I just liked it. And I thought, that is so foreign to me, the just liking something and choosing it. And I'm sure there's a very small handful of things in my life that I've just gravitated towards and I chose them. Usually it's just I don't have a strong feeling about whatever it is. Again, these are small things. And then I start looking at all the different variables. And actually, Drew asked me what was the most recent thing that I couldn't make a decision about. And I said to him that it was my engagement ring. But the truth, I don't know why I didn't just say this, is it was what toothbrush I wanted. I swear to God, I spent between 2 and 3 hours trying to figure out which toothbrush I wanted because Sonicare has far too many and there's way too many options and they come with different cases and they blah, 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 blah. And anyway, it's amazing that I'm even here today. I don't know where I'd be otherwise. I might still be in front of my computer. Again, I want to repeat, I realize people have real problems. This is not a real problem, but I'm just so sick of myself. But I am going to I'm going to therapy this week, and I'm going to talk about that and find out what is going on. Back to the engagement ring thing. And again, I realize this is probably, if you're just getting to know me on this podcast, normally I'm much more accessible and delightful. And I realize that this makes me sound like I'm like, oh, my diamond shoes are too tight. That's a joke from Friends. It's not an original. But anyway, yeah. How do other people choose their engagement rings? And I know that a lot of times the woman does not have a choice because the guy just chooses it. But I'm indecisive but also really picky. And what I basically need to do is go to a store and try on 6,000 rings and figure out what I like. But there isn't really an opportunity to do that because the people that help you, they're nice, but you feel like there's other people that want to help, and there are. And then there's pressure, and I don't know, and I think I'm complicating it because instead of just thinking, what do I like, in my head, it's turned into this what kind of woman do I want to be thing, as symbolized by all the different rings. again, I know that this is kind of insane, and I'm hoping that as you listen to this, you're in some way relating as opposed to thinking, well, I know you're not relating, Gary.
Sorry.
That's okay. As opposed to thinking, snap out of it, bitch. But maybe that's what the answer is. I hesitate to ask Adam Carolla what to do in this kind of situation because I feel like it would be a real... I actually would like to know what he would say, though. I think it'd be a real tough love, kind of like just make a decision, which is probably what the answer is. I don't know. Anyway, that's what's going on with me. Nope, not going to say anything about anything else. That's all I'm going to say about that right now. I've made the decision to move on to iTunes Comment of the Week.
Alison wants your iTunes comments. Alison wants them, yes she does. Please leave her some iTunes comments and don't forget to click 5 stars.
And by the way, do you know how long it took me to choose which iTunes comment? Because there's so many great ones. Thank you guys for that. But seriously, finally I just went, this one. Because it was just, well, actually, honestly, it's kind of short and I didn't know if Gary was going to be all phlegmy and hoarse and stuff. But anyway, this is what I'm saying. Tiny decisions. I'm getting all stuck. Okay, let's go.
I didn't get a chance to thank you for asking me how I'm doing. That's very nice of you.
Oh, you're welcome.
And I'm sorry for anyone who listened to the crossover episode for how lethargic I'm sure I sounded because I just felt like absolute hell that day. So, for iTunes Comment of the Week, I do not know how to pronounce this person's name. Mara is taken arg?
Yeah, I think it's Mara is taken arg. And the question is this a person who's upset that Mara is taken, or is this Mara who's assuming other people are upset that she's taken?
Or is this Mara who's unhappy by whom she's been taken by?
It could be any of those three.
All right. So, if I mispronounce that, sorry, but the title is, I like the opening of the show lots. And there's an exclamation point.
Thank you. I heard that in the way you pronounced it.
Well, you know. Hi,
as opposed to, I like the opening of the show lots, which would be all caps.
You're right. You've got the nuance down. That's why you're a pro.
Thank you.
Hi, Allison. I'm a big fan of the show, and recently you have mentioned people complaining about how you open the podcast.
That's right.
I just want to say that the tidbits and other funny things you share at the beginning of the show are usually my favorite part. Goodbye!
Wait, was that all caps?
No, that was 3 exclamation points.
Okay.
Not sure if goodbye really works here, but I couldn't figure out how to end the comment. Sorry! That was 1 exclamation point.
I feel like goodbye does work there.
I think it does.
Yeah. How do you sign off email? Because this is a big point of contention for people. Not yours, but just in general, the whole, like, best being kind of a curt way to end an email.
I use be well or many thanks pretty often.
I think those are good. Those are nice.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you go through a best phase? I feel like maybe
No.
I used best once, and then I realized I don't want to be saying fuck you in that manner.
Yeah, no, I don't. That one's never really come up as a reasonable ending for me.
Yeah. Some people use cheers. I feel like there was a phase where cheers was quite popular.
I use that from time to time, but mostly as a joke.
Yeah. Also, I use far too many exclamation points. We've talked about this before. I use far too many exclamation points in my emails as a way of trying to be like, hi, I'm nice, I like you, hi. Because sometimes when you just put a period, if you don't use an emoticon, which I will not do, it can sound somehow sort of bitchy.
I don't think that's the case, though. I mean, it's hard to... The exclamation points is a hard needle to thread because sometimes you need to show your enthusiasm and excitement, but used too often, it can come off as flippant. And
yes, I know.
So
I'm worried that I do that.
But I've seen some of your emails. You know, you've sent emails to people and then CC'd me later on in the chain for scheduling or whatever, and I read back. I don't think you use them too much.
See, I'm worried that if I don't say hi, Gary, it's like this. Hi, Gary.
Well, in general, I can see that fear, but I've never read an email from you that was like, hi, Gary.
No, because I use the exclamation point to keep it up. But have you been around people? I'm sure you have. Who are really perky and up and like energetic, and it's just draining. I worry that that's what my emails are.
I definitely have been around people like that, but I don't think that's how your emails are.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I know that you have to say this, but I like it a lot.
I don't have to say it. I'll tell you the truth.
All right. Thank you. Okay. I think it's time for fan phone call.
For the fans and for Kroll, Alison wants to thank you all. For the fans and for Kroll.
I know what I was going to say. I'm all out of order today, but we've been getting a lot of response to our discussion of, and this intro here is just all about neuroses and things like that, which I think is great because that's what I'm all about today. But on the Lake Bell podcast, we talked about nail biting and picking at scabs that happen to be on your scalp, and then the feeling of pulling the scab through your hair, which Gary and I could relate to each other on this, although I think that Lake Bell wanted to vomit. A lot of people have written in to say how much they also enjoy this, and I like that, even though
and how they felt ashamed to admit it, and that they felt they were alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not.
No. It's good.
I wonder if there's a real name for it. Probably is. I can remember sitting in school, when I was in kindergarten through 8th, so probably like 6th or 7th, and just sort of touching the back of my head and feeling all the wonderful things that I could just pick out when I got home, and knowing that I had to wait because I couldn't do it in class.
That's self-control. I don't know if I would have had it.
I know.
I don't know if I would have had it.
For all I know, I did excuse myself to the bathroom every now and then to just have a go at my head.
I don't even think I'd take that step.
Someone in an iTunes comment, and this might be one we read at some point, but mentioned when the hairs grow. This is so disgusting. Put down your fork, everyone. When the hairs grow like through the scab, and then you pick at the scab and there's little tiny holes in it. Just how amazing that is. That right there. Sign there's intelligent design. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry to everyone who's listened to this. You deserve better. All right, let's call Zoe.
Hello?
Hi, is this Zoe?
Yeah.
Hi, Zoe. This is Alison Rosen from Alison Rosen is Your New Best Friend.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Wow! Oh my gosh, this is so exciting.
I love you for responding in the way that I always feel is appropriate, because some people are way too cool. They're just like, oh yeah, we talk to you every day. And I'm like, no, you don't. This is very special for you.
Oh my god! I'm too awkward to be cool.
I feel
so
like
exciting. Holy crap.
I feel like I was too awkward to be cool, and then I might have been cool for a little while, and then as of recently, I've definitely become much more awkward again. I don't know what happened. It's like I was running alongside the cool train, and then it went one direction, and I tripped and skinned my knee, and now I'm just picking at the scabs on my head and worrying about everything.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Oh my god.
So Zoe, that's okay. So tell us about yourself. What do you do? Where do you live? Etc.
Okay, well, I'm a freshman at Swarthmore College.
Oh.
And, yeah.
Wait, did you email us with a question?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, I vaguely remember it. But anyway, my dad went to Swarthmore.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I have actually been to the campus, yeah. So that means you're super smart. What are you studying?
Well, I mean, I haven't declared a major yet, but I'm planning on majoring in art history.
Okay. And are you from the East Coast?
Yeah, I'm from Pennsylvania.
Do you like Swarthmore?
Oh yeah, I love it. I'm so glad that I chose to go here because I feel like it's really the perfect school for me.
Good. What other ones were you considering?
Well, I applied here early decision, so I mean it was pretty much my first and only choice. But I was also, if I didn't get in here, I was planning on applying to NYU, Brown, and Georgetown.
I also did early decision.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like we're totally nerd bonding. Anyway, remind Gary and me what your question was, because maybe we can help you with it, or maybe not. Who knows?
Okay. Well, I was just wondering if, when it comes to college parties, sorry.
That's okay.
You think that, like, all the guys there are like super drunk, and like whenever they decide to dance with girls, they are just kind of picking anyone that looks available. And if then they saw you the next week on campus walking around, they'd be like embarrassed to see you, not want to talk to you, because what they did was done in a totally drunk state.
Now, is dance a euphemism, or do you just mean dance?
Well, by dance I mean like dance and possibly make out.
Okay.
And possibly hook up.
Oh, wait, sorry, and possibly hook up, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the question is, at a college party when guys are drunk, do they actually like the person that they're hooking up with, or are they just sort of, is it just the opportunity? And, well, this is sort of answering your question from in a backwards manner, but I feel like if you run into them the next week and they act embarrassed and weird, then they probably were just interested in hooking up.
Mm-hmm.
Gary, would you agree?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this?
Well,
You were a college youngster at one point.
and drunk at several points.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if they're being weird or avoiding you when they see you, that's because they thought it was a one-time thing and whatever. They're 20-year-old dicks.
Where does that come from? Is that just a fear of confrontation, or not knowing how to handle it, or not wanting to disappoint someone? Where does that like?
Have you ever wanted to like break up with somebody, even in like the most like basic of
I
terms?
break up with people I'm not even dating.
Well, most guys, especially at
just
that
kidding.
age, I feel are too immature to know how to end something politely.
I know.
So they would just assume never talk about it.
I've actually heard an argument for the fade out. My mom told me this a long time ago. She said that if you just kind of fade away but don't ever give someone a real reason, then it doesn't hurt them as much because it's not like you're telling them there's something wrong with them. And I thought, you are such an evil person. Not really, but I thought I disagree with that a lot. But there you go. I guess that's what some people think. Okay, anyway, though. So did this happen to you? Did you dance, in quotes?
Yeah. And, I mean, I haven't seen the person since, so I don't know if we had an awkward encounter or not. But I was just curious because some of my friends told me that, yes, like, you can't trust anyone who goes to a party. You can't trust any of the guys who go to a party because they're all just desperate for sex. And if they saw you the next week, they would certainly be embarrassed because they're there solely to hook up, and they don't really like the people they're hooking up with. It's just like satisfying their
No,
like,
I think your friends. I think that advice is coming from a person who has been hurt or is being really overly cautious. I think
and pessimistic too.
Yeah, that's
every guy. That's a really broad brush to paint with.
Right. I don't think that people go to parties with the idea of like, hey, I'm going to hook up with someone that I don't like and then I'm going to be weird to them next time. I think that everyone hopes that yes, obviously people are motivated by hooking up, but I think that the hope would be that you like the person you hook up with.
I 100% agree. I mean, yes, there are douchebag guys who are just out there for numbers and don't care who the person is that they're hooking up with and have every intention of just blowing them off the next day. But that's a small percentage.
Yeah.
I mean, that is not the average guy. The average guy is going to a party looking to hopefully meet girls and have fun and maybe hook up, but like with the hope that that could be a recurring thing because then you don't have to go to parties and be awkward anymore.
Right.
Like, yeah.
And I remember my freshman year at Pomona College, one of my friends hooked up with a guy, and I actually remember, I don't know if it was afterwards or before, but a lot of people warning her, this isn't going to mean anything. I don't know why they felt the need to warn her, though. I don't know if they thought she was going to get attached, or I don't know what it was, but it was like there was all this, like, this is just a hookup. It's not going to mean anything. It's just going to be a one-night stand. And they are now married and have 2 kids. And they were together the entire time that I was in college. And I think, and it was like the first week they hooked up. So a lot of people actually do find the person that they end up with in college. So I think there's really the whole spectrum of douchebag to the opposite of douchebag.
Good guy.
Okay.
Good guy.
Yeah. That's really great to hear. That makes me a lot happy. That makes me a lot more hopeful.
Yeah. So your friend who gave you this advice where's this person coming from?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know her background that much. You know, I don't think she's had a ton of experience with guys because she went to an all-girls high school. But, I mean, I think she's kind of a really protective, mothering type.
Yeah.
So I think she might just be trying to be really cautious because, like, she doesn't want me to, like, break my heart or anything.
Right. Well, that is really sweet. But I think in general, you want to be realistic, but I don't think you want to walk around thinking that all men are not to be trusted and up to no good, and just having, I think that if you have a really negative attitude about the opposite sex, people, it sets you up to see the worst and to be unhappy, and it sort of can push people away because people can feel that, you know. Imagine a guy, like there are men who are so distrustful of women and dislike women, and that is not attractive at all.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Zoe, thank you so much for making us feel good when we called you.
Yeah, you guys have no idea how exciting this has been. I've sounded completely moronic, and I'm really sorry about that.
No, you didn't.
No.
No, I feel like I did.
And it was a very reasonable question.
Yeah,
I'm
it's a
glad
good
you asked
question.
it.
Yeah.
That'd be a very sad way to go through college believing that.
Right.
I don't think that's the case at all.
Yeah. So, you know what you should do? Write us back and let us know what happens if you run into this guy, or just how it goes with, other people you dance with.
Okay, I will. Yeah, thank you guys so much for calling me. Oh man, I love your show. I love it.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much.
Congratulations on being engaged. I was really happy for you. That's great.
Thank you.
And your puppy is so adorable. Like I see the pictures of him on Facebook, and it just makes my heart melt every time.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, he's pretty cute.
Yeah.
All right. Well, best of luck to you, Zoe.
Okay, thank you so much.
Sure. Bye. She was very nice.
She was very nice, absolutely.
It totally brought me back to the experience of being in college and all of that. It feels like so long ago because I'm really old.
Yeah, no, I mean, there was a reunion for my college this weekend, and I saw the pictures, and it was just totally weird to think that was like 7 years ago or something.
I remember going to a reunion I only went to one, and it was weird seeing everyone because everyone looked the same to me, but some of them had gray hair, and it looked like, I remember at the time thinking, it's like when 8th graders do a musical and the guys like spray that gray in their hair, where they just look like young people with fake gray hair. But they weren't. They were older. And more articulate thoughts from me coming soon. So in this episode, coming up right now, I talked to Jon Daly. He's hilarious, and I think you will love him if you don't already love him.
The comedian, not the golfer.
That's right.
For those golf fans out there.
Yeah. Oh, God, golf fans love my podcast. So here you go. Here's part 1 of that. And don't forget, if you would like a special bonus episode of Alison Rosen's Your New Best Friend with Doug Benson and Greg Proops as the guests, which was recorded live at the LA Podcast Festival, you can get that in the comedy album section of the iTunes store, and it's $1.99, but it's worth easily $3.99. And if you would like to win a free iPad, which we are giving away to my chagrin because I just won it, but I had to give it to you. It's from our friends over at Citrix. You can win that by tweeting us with the hashtag AllisonFreeIPad and just answer the question, if you could host a GoToMeeting from anywhere and why, where would it be and why? And tweet that to @ARIYNBF. Do it. Gary, am I leaving anything out?
No, you're not.
Okay. I love you guys. Here's the episode.
Alison Rosen is your new best friend. Alison, with her good times never end. Alison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Alison's your new best friend.
Hey everyone, hi, hello, it is me, Alison Rosen, and I'm here with Jon Daly, which is exciting because I'm a big fan, and I have to say, of everyone who sat where you're sitting during the playing of my theme song, you're the one who has treated it in the manner I feel it deserves, which is, you looked excited, you did some dance moves.
I did a dance. I'm an idiot, like an idiot.
Yeah, I guess that's what I feel like it deserves.
Yeah. But I think it's funny. It made me laugh.
Not an idiot like, oh, look at that idiot.
What I'm trying to convey is I danced around like an idiot.
Yes.
But that was also, I'll tell you why, because we just met. I don't know you at all. And we're in this, we're about to have our first conversation. This is the first time we've ever talked in my life. So.
I know.
Yeah, so it was a little bit out of discomfort, but I'm glad that you appreciated that. That's cool.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
so then I guess the other people who just sit there being too cool, it's because they feel comfortable around me?
They might. Well, I couldn't speak for how comfortable, but I felt immediately comfortable with you. But the reality is that this is our first conversation. So
I know, and that's why you have to create a wall between us by wearing sunglasses.
I did put sunglasses on, and I wanted to be clear that it's more it's not in a cool way. It's in a way that it's bright in here, and but you felt like it was creating barriers to for kind of putting.
How am I possibly going to get to know you when I can't see your pupils?
I mean, I could take them off. Do you really?
No.
Okay. I won't.
Yeah.
I won't do it.
Now, do these cast like an amber light on what you're looking at, or is
this
it
is an
blue
orange?
tone?
It's an orange light. It's like an orange juice. It's an OJ kind of light.
Okay, gotcha. Now, speaking of astringent things, we had a little moment earlier. I was showing you around the studio, and I said we have Cheez-Its and water, and then I opened the refrigerator and I realized we have a bit more than that. We have Coke, Diet Coke, and a jar of pickled okra.
Yeah.
And then you commented on how okra will give you diarrhea, and I was
I
thought it was just me.
Let's fry up some okra and get diarrhea.
Yes, that is what you said. And then I said, this is the most compelling way to do this conversation on the podcast, is to just say, and then I said.
And then I said,
Yeah.
What did you say?
I said, wait, does it give everyone diarrhea?
I only know from my experience, and my experience is that okra gives me diarrhea. Whenever I have, what is it, jambalaya?
I don't know. It's probably in that, yeah.
Yeah. Something like that is in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's there's superfoods, and then there's just garbage foods. And okra, for me, I'm not a fan.
Right. Well, see, there are cans of pickled okra. I don't know. I feel like that's like some from a fan or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. It's off-label, off-brand.
Oh, yeah.
Special,
That's
exclusive okra. But
what kind of fan gives you okra?
One who wants you to spend a lot of time in the bathroom. But
Yeah.
there's these jars of pickled okra that I find strangely irresistible. But I won't have them anymore because of aforementioned situation.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the kind of thing.
It's like jalapenos to me. Jalapenos, It's like, oh, God.
It's the kind of thing.
Tastes great, but.
Right.
But okra doesn't have that great spicy taste, or
See,
it's
I
just
don't
kind
even
of
like
dull.
spiciness. Yeah, I like mild.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, and this is going to disgust everyone, but I don't care.
Do it.
It's the kind of thing where you're like, yeah, there's all the seeds.
In your poop?
Yeah.
Yeah, I look at every single piece of shit
Oh, good,
I
okay.
make. And I do mean make. I make them.
Right.
And especially recently, not recently, I'd say, sometimes I give it a glance, but if I'm just like spraying foam into the toilet all over the place, I won't really look at it.
Well, because you know
solid
what you're
mass,
dealing with.
If it's a solid mass of any sort, if it's any sort of kind of like, doggy dirt. I'll take a look. It's really gross.
Do you look when you blow your nose into something? Do you look?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Well, that's right up in your face.
Yeah.
Coming
Okay.
out of your face.
Have you ever had this situation? It happened to me, and I don't mean to name drop or
Sure.
location drop. It happened to me in London.
Oh God.
You know, many years ago, where you think,
Yeah, I go places
Did I-
too. Anyway.
yeah. Well, have you ever had the thing where you look in the loo? The WC.
WC.
Yeah.
mhm.
And you think,
Bounce.
did I even chew?
Well, yeah, I guess so.
Because
Yeah,
I remember that
mean,
mushroom from breakfast.
Yeah, I don't. I do look into the poop holes that I poop in, in general,
Right.
and I think it's really, for me, it's less did I chew and more, I can't believe I ate that half an hour ago. I
right.
can't believe
Yeah.
I'm pooping what I just, because my metabolism is very high for some reason, and which is good in some ways, but it really isn't good because you're just like, am I absorbing nutrition from
Right.
this food?
Or is it just flying through you?
Yeah, and you want to make sure, you're getting the bang for your buck.
Right. Well,
You're out in
John,
Cali eating fresh veggies, from the Central Valley and other
Right.
things. I don't know.
so Jon Daly, let's
Yeah.
tell listeners a bit more about you aside
Yeah.
from the fact that you don't know if you're receiving nutrients from your food.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was I just started
I'm
that.
John. I'm
Okay.
I'm an actor and a writer and comedian and I live in Los Angeles. I do I'm on the Kroll Show right now. That's
Nick
that's
Kroll's
what's going
sketch
on
show?
right now. Nick
Yes.
Kroll's sketch show, and
I was
we're
first.
writing the second season now, which I'm very excited.
That's very
about.
exciting. Yeah,
thank
you
you,
guys
thank
got
you.
renewed very fast, right? Seems
Yes.
fast.
Yeah, it was after 2 episodes, which is great.
Was there any doubt? Because my experience as a viewer is, oh, here's a show that's creative and I really like it. Damn it, they didn't renew it. That seems to
wow.
always happen. So I
Thank
was so
you.
excited. I was so excited that to hear that it got renewed because
So was I.
Yeah, I bet.
No, but because I think they always I would really give them a lot of credit, Comedy Central, because they really did support it from the beginning. Very much let us do what we wanted to do, and we're very really like hands-on, and also like we will allow you.
Right.
They gave us lots of artistic freedom. Is what they did.
So what is your role on the show?
Are
Are there a bunch of writers or?
Yeah. There's a bunch of writers. I'm a supervising producer and a writer and an actor. So me and Nick do some of the things we started doing on the internet about 4 years ago or 3 years ago. We did this thing called Rich Dicks, which is my character is Wendy Shawn, and we're these terrible rich people. Both of Nick and I grew up around kind of really very rich people, and kind of experienced sort of that world. So we just wanted to make it as evil as we can, and also.
What's his character's name?
Aspen Bruckenheimer. It was Aspen Bruckheimer, but we had to change it to Bruckenheimer.
Right.
But which I like anyways. And then we do the Ed Hardy Boys.
Right.
Which we did on Funny
I
or
love
Die.
that.
We did a couple videos. We did one with Christian Audigier, and
I just watched the one today where you guys were trying to solve the case of the missing sick belt buckle.
yeah, there's the case of the missing sick belt buckle, and then there's the case of the hot Filipina girl who I forget what it is. I forget
Oh,
what
Gary's
it
looking
is.
it up.
Look it up. Hot Filipino girl. It's Kulap, who is Laotian, not Filipino, and
Taking jobs from Filipinos.
who I wrote
The
it.
case of when that hot Filipina girl lost her tramp stamp at mini golf.
Lost her tramp stamp at mini golf, so her tramp stamp falls off.
Right.
Real dumb. So we did those, and that, and then we eventually made a pilot for Rich Dicks for Comedy Central, which did not get picked up, and
Was that a bummer?
it was a bummer. It was like we made an 11-minute pilot. They were making 11-minute shows for a second. We made an 11-minute pilot, and then it kind of like, of course it was a bummer, but and then Nick pitched his show, and we ended up just doing all this shit and all that stuff and more on his show, which is great.
And I was first introduced to you through Bill Cosby Bukowski.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain that?
Yeah. I don't know, but all I can
I mean, to
say
people
about
who
Bill
don't
Cosby
know.
Bukowski is that he's, in effect, it's Bill Cosby Bukowski is a character that I do. Check it out. It's on Funny or Die on YouTube, and I do it on Comedy Bang Bang a lot with Scott Aukerman. And it is, it's the way that I do swear a lot and do Bill Cosby. Yeah, I mean, that's it.
Yeah, as a character who's just it's a combination of Bill Cosby.
Yeah, it's just kind of get downstairs and line up and let's see who's the most fuckable huckster ball. It's that kind of thing. And so yeah, I do videos, and a new video is coming out, and it is a TED Talk. It's not a TED Talk. It's a what's it called? An Apple, like when Steve Jobs drops a product.
Right.
It's a product drop.
Keynote.
A keynote. It's an Apple keynote for the J phone. It's a Jello keynote. Bill Cosby Bukowski doing Jello keynote for the J phone Lime, which is the new J phone that is made of Jello. It's a Jello phone that is coming out in 2013. So
Right.
that'll be on Funny or Die very soon.
Because
Yeah.
you don't write poems, you write Jello.
Jello-ums. He's the Jello-at laureate. He's the Jello-at laureate. I could do a Jello-um. You want to do?
Yes, please.
This is called LeVar Burton, Get Out of My Living Room. LeVar Burton, get out of my living room. What are you doing in here? Get out of my living room. What did you say? I don't care about reading Rainbow. It's reading Rainbow. I got 2 words for you. Picture pages. Now get the fuck out of here before I stab you in your blind-ass computer eyes. Okay. That's probably that's the weirdest one.
I love it.
It really
Let's
is.
see.
Oh, wait. No. Are you filming me?
Well, now I was trying to film the Jello.
Oh, I'm so-
do
no,
you have
no.
an anti? Oh, okay.
I'll need to destroy your iPhone. No, I'm just kidding. Do you want me to? I can't do it anymore. The moment is gone. Now that I didn't know what was happening.
I snuck up on you.
Am I
Usually
being the
don't
worst?
do that. No, it's
I know.
okay. I'll turn it off.
You don't have to turn it off.
But this is great. I'm turn it off.
What's great? Just me on film. I'm from TV and film.
Right.
I'm
You're really
from
lighting it up.
Gary, I'm from TV and film.
That's what I've heard.
I'm going to turn this off. Well, see, here's what happened. You started the Jalome, which was so good, and then I thought, ooh, this would be the kind of thing that when we post the blog post, it can be like a little video thing for the viewers or for the fans who would enjoy it, the behind the scenes. But I should have checked with you first.
No, but we can do that. We'll take care of that afterwards.
Great.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sappity Tappity. What's that?
Sappity Tappity is drunk English rollerblading pine tree from England. He lives in Hollywood, and he's trying to get stuff together. He's got rollerblades, and so he's mobile. He's inspiring guy. He's another character of mine. I mean, I don't know how to do podcasts, but he's a character of mine. That's a pine tree. I do a show at UCB sometimes and it used to be monthly, but now I do it. I haven't done it for a while, but I'm gonna bring it back. It's the Sappity Tappity, the drunk English rollerblading pine tree show. I usually do it on Christmas and then Arbor Day, which is coming up in April.
Right. For some reason I feel silly asking this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Where did the idea for Sappity Tappity come from?
It came from I was in an improv class in New York City. I did Upright Citizens Brigade, UCB stuff in New York City.
When was that? Because I lived in New York too.
I started doing it in 1999. I got on a Herald team.
Ooh, what was that one called?
Mother, and we stayed together for 10 years. We kept doing shows every Saturday night. It was great. I love Mother.
I'm pretty sure I remember hearing about Mother when I was in New York.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Who else was on that team?
Jason Mantzoukas, Jessica St. Clair, James Easton, Jesse Falcon, Tara Copeland, Christine Walters. I forget.
That
so many people,
that's a wealth of people.
It's a wealth of people.
So,
Doug
yeah.
Moe and eventually, yeah. So that many people.
So many of
A big
them,
improv crew.
and many of them also come from film and TV,
A lot
or
of
are on there now.
yeah, a lot of film and television
Right.
heads. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay, so
anyway.
you were doing that in New York.
I was
and
doing
then-
that. Yeah, I was doing that in New York. So I was taking a class. Matt Besser taught me 3 times, I think. And do you know Matt Besser? He's the
Yes,
best. Yeah,
yes.
he was. But at this time in my life, now he's my friend. But that was hard-won friendship because he was the teacher. You know, he's and the one who put on shows. So he was very intimidating to me. And at one time, Matt Besser was completely responsible for Sappity Tappity because he was putting together this show that I did with Manzukis and all those people, pretty much a lot of those people, a lot of other people, called Kathy Lee and the Legion of Good versus Ricky Martin and the Loca Power Team. This is when Ricky Martin and Kathy Lee were like actually huge. And it was the show that ran for a year, but Besser taught a class to like farm the people, the improvisers for the show. And he basically was basically giving everybody their characters. He was like, Manzukis, you're Ricky Martin, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, Daly, you're going to be a pine tree. And I was like, all right, I'll be a pine tree. And he was like, yeah, be a pine tree. I was like, fuck yeah, man. And then I did it, and I just stuck. I've been doing that character for... I've been doing that character for. I sound like Mel Brooks, Then I started doing that character. I don't know. That doesn't make sense, does it?
Yeah, no, it
but
does. Sort of.
sure. But yeah, that's where that came from. And then I added rollerblades, and then I made it. I think I made it English and added rollerblades a little bit later. But that was when I was just like, let's make it even crazier. But yeah, check that out.
And when did
Check
you
that shit
realize
out.
you could do Bill Cosby's voice? And do you do a lot of voices?
I do some voices. I do Frasier, and that was a bad one. I should just
No, that was a good one.
I do Frasier sometimes. I do Frasier on the Kroll Show a couple times. Cosby. I do Ticklish Cage. Is a video I made. It's a Funny or Die video. Ticklish Cage. It's Nicolas Cage, but he's really ticklish. Very dumb video, but I love it. Check that one out.
I don't want to make
then
you
I do,
be our dancing monkey, but could you do a little bit of the ticklish cage?
Ticklish Cage. What's a good one? I didn't come here to be on. Wait. What's a good cage? Check out the video. I don't think it's going to come off well.
Okay.
Come on, Con Air.
Isn't that a
Put down
bummer?
the bunny.
Con Air, put on the bunny. Give me a quote. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think I have any readily available Cage quotes. But what's bees, not the bees, not the bees. That's him getting tickled at the end. It helps. That's the thing. It does. You have to see him get tickled.
Right.
That's
okay.
the trick.
Yeah.
Is seeing him, see the tickle moment, and then. You know what I'm saying.
I totally
Diet
hear
Coke.
you.
Shout out to Diet Coke. Taylor Swift is Diet Coke. I just want to give a shout out to my homeboy, Taylor Swift. Sorry.
Thank you. Now, see, I'm actually more of a Coke Zero fan.
I am too.
Yeah, it's
I am
better,
too.
right?
Yeah, why is that? Because its chemicals are better.
Yeah, I prefer
it.
its artificial flavor to Diet Coke's artificial flavor.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so what other voices do you do?
I can do Elmer Fudd. Be very quiet. Everyone can do that though. It's just a parlor trick, everyone can do it. I can do what else? What else do I do? Jay Leno. Hey. How about Conan O'Brien? Hey guys. That's terrible. Sorry.
No, but it looked Conan. You looked Conan.
See, I'm embodying them so geniusly that
Right.
everyone here is just
I didn't know
blown
where
away.
I didn't know where the Jon Daly.
Believe me, guys,
went.
this is funny. Yeah, sometimes you don't know where Jon Daly. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you also have a website, Jon Daly is Jon Daly.
Yes. Jon Daly is Jon Daly. That's JONDALY is JOHNDALY. Jon Daly is JonDaly.com. And that is, and I want to, maybe Jon Daly, maybe somebody who knows Jon Daly, the golfer, is out there. I have a website called Jon Daly is Jon Daly where I'm basically taking back my Google search, you know, because I want to be the most famous Jon Daly. And, you know, basically it started because his name, I was Googling my name, and it's Jon, and his name is John. So when I Googled my name, Jon, it said, "Did you mean Jon Daly?" As if, did you mean to Google
As
the
if
guy
you
who you
misspelled
should?
your-
It was
your
almost
own
like,
name.
you know what? You should mean Jon Daly.
Yeah.
You should mean Jon Daly because Jon Daly's cooler than that Jon Daly. You know, it made me sick. It made me fucking sick. And so I had to fuck this guy over, huh, Gary? I had to fuck him over.
I got the email about Jon Daly, and I
I'm
was like,
just kidding. I'm just kidding. So, but anyway, I started this
I
thing.
don't think you're just kidding.
I went out on the golf course. No, I have profound respect for Jon Daly. I think he's a champion. You know, he's a champion. He seems like a great. Everything he does, I'm like, yeah, dude, you're the best. But you know, and he's clean and sober and everything. He's getting his life together. Anyway, I had profound respect for him. So, what I did was I went out on the golf course and I in a fat suit and I took hundreds of pictures of myself. If you go to JonDalyIsJonDaly.com, you'll see me on the golf course, and a friend of mine, Jen Rose, did special effects makeup, and another friend who wants to remain nameless did photographs. And
Why does that friend want to remain nameless?
I don't know. She wants to not be attached. She wants for the right reasons, because she wants to disappear into the project.
Oh, that's wow.
She wants the project to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She
it's
wants
not about her.
for the right reasons. Yeah, it's as if I did it. It's as if they're real. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, she does it for the right reasons. I also think she doesn't need to. You know, she doesn't need to. But
Is it
don't guess.
Annie
Don't
Leibovitz?
guess. It is Annie Leibovitz. Yes, yeah.
Ansel Adams was my next guess, but you
It's-
said it was a
But
woman.
not the Annie Leibovitz you're thinking of. This
No,
Annie
no.
Leibovitz is a horrible photographer.
Right.
They don't. She didn't even know. You know,
Yeah.
she took
She
pictures.
works primarily in Polaroids.
Yeah, she tried to take pictures with her collarbone. It was really weird. But there's, you know, and so go to that website. I'm trying to get those pictures out there, but also I'm reaching out to Jon Daly because I want to work with him. And I'm serious. I want to introduce him to a whole new audience of young people who aren't about golf, but are just about him as a personality. You know, he's like Kenny Powers, you know, from Eastbound and Down. He's like that. He's like the Kenny Powers of golf, and he cultivates an image, but, you know, he's also like hilarious. He puts out country records. He's got a country record. He's got his Loudmouth brand pants. He wears these crazy outlandish pants, and
I did not know about these pants.
which I bought hundreds, by the way, of dollars worth for that project, for the Jon Daly project. The Jon Daly is Jon Daly website.
Have you heard back from him at all?
No, but I'm reaching out to him. I'm sure he knows about it. I mean, he might not know, but who fucking knows? I don't know what kind of like how tech he is. I feel like Mickelson's pretty tech, but no, I don't know. Like he's probably the least tech. He lives in, you know, he's like a fucking dude who hangs out. But his online presence is actually pretty. Twitter shit is pretty, but a lot of people think that I'm Jon Daly online, which is amazing, including Chuck Woolery on Twitter thinks that I'm the real Jon Daly and communicates with me on a regular
Right,
basis.
because your Twitter avatar is one
me
of those shots.
as him. It's me,
Yeah.
but it's as him.
So Chuck Woolery tweets at you
Chuck
as
Woolery
you him?
has invited me to go bass fishing with him in
Oh,
Texas.
my God.
No joke.
Wow.
Like, all right, John, like I talked to him for a while and I was using hashtag kill Obamacare. You know, because Chuck Woolery is like a fucking, you know, he makes these videos. I mean, he's a retarded person. But
I didn't
his,
know. I just remember Chuck Woolery from
Yeah.
what was the show?
I mean,
The dating
he's
show?
not retarded. He's
No.
He's just,
I know exactly what you're saying. I'm just
He's
saying
doing
I
it
didn't-
wrong. He's an old man. He's an old person, is what he
Right.
is. He's
I'm just saying I wasn't
totally
up
old.
to date on his. I didn't realize he went
Super
down that road.
Yeah, he like you know, did the nosedive into just like I
To the
want
right.
to yeah, to the right by convenience of please listen to me. Want to have a career again.
Yes. But what eliminate? No, that was younger. What was
No,
his
no,
show?
no, no.
Where
He's
they
old
would,
school. No, fuck, Chuck Woolery.
Where they
Dating
choose,
women on TV with my man Chuck Woolery. That's
Yeah,
a
and there
Beastie
would
Boys
be the three.
lyric. It's
Gary's
dating.
probably too young.
Dating game. It's not the dating game.
No, but it's something, and it's not. It's like
Dating game. It's the dating game.
Woolery hosted Love Connection.
Love
Love
Connection.
Connection.
Yeah.
there we go.
Yeah, he's a handsome man. Never had a
Yes.
problem in his life, and he's like, "Let's kill Jews." Basically, I mean, that's his pretty much.
Right.
Just wants to kill Jews.
So then you're not going to go
Anyway.
bass fishing with him?
I'm probably not going to go bass fishing with him. But, you know, I don't think he kills Jews. That's a terrible thing to say. Why would I say that? But
No one takes anything seriously. It's totally okay.
Right, it's a podcast.
Unless
right?
sometimes people take everything seriously.
Right.
And you never know.
People took the Oscars very seriously.
Oh,
they were
yes.
very pissed off.
They really were.
On Twitter. Holy shit.
That onion joke, you mean? Or
Onion
everything?
joke, but also like at Seth MacFarlane, at everything. They
Yeah.
were just like, what the fuck? We want a nice show. We don't want the Onion to do the thing. I don't know. I thought that was... It's like the one time the Onion screws up out of 3 billion times where they fucking nailed it.
Right.
Like, I don't know. Give them a break. But they were right. I mean, it is a bummer joke, but it was fine. It was satire.
But I
you know?
didn't find it to be as... It wasn't that funny, and it wasn't super sharp, but I didn't find it to be outrageous.
No, I didn't find it outrageous, but I understand if people like saying a 9-year-old is a cunt. I mean, it's a joke about Hollywood and being disgusting. It's a disgusting person joke that I know how to do because it's rich dicks, you know. It's
Yeah.
just, but, I have AIDS and rich dicks, you know, just casually. And anyway, I don't want to brand myself like I'm just kidding. But I thought it was fun. You know, it's the Onion. Like,
Yeah.
they came out with the Onion after fucking a week after 9/11, and it like won a Pulitzer Prize or was nominated. They're brilliant. Like, they're still brilliant, and that was then, but this is now, and they're still equally amazing.
Right.
And I think that was, you know, it just was a bummer, but
I also think that if that
think about-
joke had
yeah.
been said, well, granted they deal in the printed word, but if that joke had been
Yeah.
said and not written, if someone wasn't reading it,
Yeah.
there would not be any problem with it. Well, not as much of a
cunt.
problem.
Yeah, maybe. It depends on if who says it. Depends on who says it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if fucking, you know, Tracy Morgan says it,
Then there would be a problem.
then there'd be a problem.
Right.
You know?
But if like some other little girl said it, not a problem.
Another little girl. That'd
Yeah.
be so fucked up.
I know.
Willow Smith is like, that cunt needs to step up.
That'd be funny.
Oh, I
That
mean,
would
that'd
be
be
funny.
funny because it's true. That's what this probably goes on. But no, I think Willow Smith is just like, who's this?
Yeah.
I don't even pay attention to people like that. Yeah, it's just me.
So
It's me and my brother.
Jon Daly,
Yes.
John C. Daly, what's the C for?
Jonathan Christopher Daly.
Jonathan Christopher Daly. Where did you grow up?
Pittsburgh.
And what was that like?
You know, Lemieux was in the igloo. Mark Malone was the quarterback of the Steelers. It was heady days, shitty football.
Are you into sports?
I was. I am a little bit still. I grew up playing hockey. Really got into it. Got into hockey. I was on travel teams and all that shit. Played
So
in
that
high
probably
school.
allows you to rollerblade well as a
I
tree.
very much. I couldn't do it. I wouldn't even have the rollerblades. Sometimes I do the rollerblades as Sappity on stage, and there's so many wires on the stage.
Oh, yeah.
And like slippery things. So I've actually stopped doing it. It's like really dumb. So, but I still do it, you know. Anyway, but yeah, I grew up ice skating and
Did
all
you?
that shit.
And you were on travel teams and stuff.
Went to Canada. Yeah.
What position did you play?
I played defense, left defense the entire time until I was on in 8th grade. Then one year I played left wing. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't like a goal scorer. I was more like weirdly, because I'm not physically large, but I was more like a body checker and a defensive, like I was good at that.
Was it fun?
I loved it. I want to play now. I love it so much. Yeah.
When's the last time you were on the ice? Which could mean any sort of. It could mean hockey, or it could just
we
mean
filmed something for
ice
Kroll
skating.
Show, actually, called Wheels Ontario, which is a Degrassi High parody where everyone is in a wheelchair. And I play this teacher, this coach teacher. I play coach teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And Kroll is a little teenager. And we invent a sport called whirling, which is curling in wheelchairs. And it's check. That's in the pilot, or the first episode, rather. It's not really the pilot, but.
Do you guys have to fight it all to be allowed to do certain things, or like, are they ever nervous about ideas you have?
What, you mean Comedy Central?
Yeah.
I absolutely not. Yeah, like I said, like no joke, no. Like there's no, the artistic freedom was like pretty good, and they would they would read our scripts, obviously, and like kind of question things and have notes, and we're very, very hands-on. But we're also kind of like, I think we were pretty neurotic about it already. We were like, we really want to make this fucking good. And so like we would make it pretty clear that we were going to scrupulously, make it happen in a way that was dope, basically,
Who's more neurotic about it, you or Nick?
Nick. I mean, it's his show. It's really his dick is on the railroad tracks. It's like, I mean, it's the Nick. It's the Kroll Show.
Kind of squish penny.
It's not the Daily Show. It's not the Daily Show. It's the Kroll Show.
Right.
But
Do people?
But that said, like I feel like we all are very much striving to both all the writers, and John Levinstein is the head writer, and John Kreisel is the director who does Portlandia and Tim and Eric. Is amazing, and it's great. It's a dream team.
So, back to the ice, though. Mm-hmm. I'm trying out new segues, and I'm not ever going to use that one again. Till what age did you play?
I played until I was a senior in high school. So,
oh wow!
Yeah, 18.
Did you think you
24.
wanted to go?
Did I think what?
Did you think you wanted to go into professional hockey playing?
When I was in 7th grade was the last time I was like, hey man, I could be a pro. And then I made varsity my freshman year of high school, which was a very big deal for me. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, fuck man, I could play college hockey and maybe be a slacker pro weirdo that travels around in the triple. And then no. And then I started really going to Canada. I think, that was like 8th grade. I really started going to Canada more. Mm-hmm. And then I was just like, oh, no way. Dream dashed. Because we just go up there, and it was like we didn't even know how to play the same sport as them. Mm-hmm. It was just, it was like we were just standing there, and they were just scoring goals and skating around us, and we were just like, oh, this is how you be a pro hockey player. Yeah. You actually have to be really good at hockey instead of like pretty good at it. It was pretty good. Right. But I loved it so much. I started acting, and
when did that happen?
Like doing improv and stuff in like 10th grade.
Oh wow.
In Pittsburgh, yeah. Friday night improvs at the University of Pittsburgh. I used to do it, short form improv with this guy Lou Stein and Ben Mayer and all these guys. I still go back there. I just did it over Christmas.
That's really cool that you started in 10th grade.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty young, don't you think?
I don't know. It really depends.
Improv?
I mean, look at Raven,
Right. But she's not doing improv.
Yeah, and she has no sense of real joy in her life.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? But she might be fantastic.
What if there was
I'm in a movie with her. I did a movie with her.
Really?
Yeah.
What movie?
College Road Trip. Martin Lawrence, Raven Simone. I play a security guard. I have like 5 lines.
Well, great. When can we see that?
It's out.
Oh, when did we see that?
It's been out since 2005.
That's why I wanted him on the show.
Great movie.
Great movie. It's a Citizen Kane of father-daughter.
I'd call it more of a Godfather, but yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. It is. Totally, Gary. I agree with Gary.
Sorry.
The Godfather.
There's a giant gaping hole in my viewing.
Pleasure.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Most deaf.
It's good that I can't see your eyes right now, or else I would feel shamed.
You'd start crying because they're fucking really
boring holes.
You.
I know.
Really fucking up here.
So what I was gonna say
Rosen?
though. God damn it! Wait, was that out loud?
Where are you from? Where?
I'm from Orange County, California, originally.
Okay. Cool, home of the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah.
That's all I know about it. They're like burning crosses and like
it was wonderful growing
terrible
up there,
style.
Like
yeah.
Gary's from there too.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, we grew up around very wealthy people too, which you mentioned earlier.
Yeah. Maybe that's why we enjoy
OC,
rich dicks.
A very
It's full. Oh my God, it is full of rich dicks.
Yeah, OC. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, Laguna Beach. All I think about is like all I hear about that I pay attention to at least is just like they burned another mosque, and like it's a terrible characterization of the OC, but it's like all I really remember hearing about.
Yeah. But yeah. So wait, is that what it was like in Pittsburgh?
What?
Rich dicks everywhere?
No. I mean, in my high school, there were a few. Yeah, there were definitely people like that in New York, and just like people at there was definitely like a pretty disgusting attitude at my high school, and just like other people.
Did you go to a private school?
I did, yeah.
Is it one I would have heard of?
I went to public school until I was in 8th grade, and then I went to private school at a place called the Shady Side Academy.
Oh, I'm not familiar with the Shady Side Academy.
Shady Side Academy, yeah.
Did you wear uniforms?
No, they had to wear uniforms, I guess, until 8th grade, but then we had
Freedom.
total freedom. There were girls. It was great. It was like Dead Poet Society. We had the Midnight Boys.
Sounds like that. Did you grow up
Midnight
fast?
Boys. Let's go to the caves and read literature. Did I grow up fast?
Yes. Or were you a late bloomer?
No, I wasn't a bloomer. When it comes to sexual things, or
Yeah, I guess that is what I'm asking. But now that you put a fine point on it, I feel
I was a little
weird.
bit of a late bloomer, but I feel like that was interesting going to Canada when I was a kid, because I had like fingered a girl by like 7th grade, but
that's the opposite of a late bloomer.
Yeah.
Right?
I would say
Fingering happens later, right?
Fingering
Gary?
happens 7th
Gary's
grade,
still
8th grade. It's the goal, but I had a girlfriend for like a summer, and at the end of the summer, I like fingered her, and it was great. And I it was great. But I thought of myself at that point. I know that I thought that I was like a late bloomer, even though these 7th graders were like having sex and stuff. Like, I'd go to hockey camp, and this white trash kid would be like, "Man, I fucked this girl from 4-H." I'd be like, "What the fuck? You're an adult. You're 40." You know, like, I don't want any part of that. But I remember being like, "Oh man, I'm behind." Then I go to Canada and play hockey, and we'd have billet system, and so we'd stay with their family, and they'd stay with our family. So I'd stay with this kid, and he'd be like, "Hey, have you ever French kissed?" And I was like, "What the fuck, man? I just stuck my finger in a girl's pussy, dude. I'm a total man." And these Canadians were like, "I think I'm gonna French my girlfriend tonight. It's gonna be great at fucking Tim Hortons." Fucking Canadian weird. I was like, "You virgin weirdos. I'm a man compared to you." But then I got a girlfriend in high school, Jen Steinfeld, and she was great, and she blew my mind because she hadn't with sex. She was Jewish. I'd never like experienced Jewish people. Her dad was funny instead of being withholding and very dry and like a
Right.
like yeah. But then I probably lost my virginity when I was 16.
And why did you guys break up?
We stayed together for a lot of high school. We stayed together for like 2.5 years or something like that. And then we broke up. It was just kind of weird. I don't know. You break it. It was like, we should break up. Let's do it. I don't even remember. It was like too long, right? Do we hate each other? I don't know. I think I love you still. I think I hate you. We hate each other. It's terrible.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, maybe she'll hear this and clarify it.
I'm sure
Who
she's
knows? I don't know.
An
If she's
avid listener.
Yeah, probably. Hey, if her dad has a sense of humor, so.
Yeah, her dad's funny dad.
And after high school, where did you go?
I went to North Carolina School of the Arts, and then I moved to New York, and then I discovered UCB. Moved to New York in '97. Did theater, Shakespeare, and all that shit.
Really?
Yeah.
You went there to be a serious actor?
I mean, I just went there to be an actor, and ended up doing children's theater. Really ghetto fucking shit, and then really terrible plays. A couple terrible plays. A really weird, terrible film. I did a play. The Café des Artistes. It was like Bon Ton Café des Artistes. It was the worst. It was like Toulouse-Lautrec, Seurat, and Van Gogh. Every impressionist gets together at the Café des Artistes, and it's like everyone from every French art time. It was
Who'd
horrible.
You play?
I played Seurat's gay lover in that one. Really, really bad. And then I started doing comedy all the time when I discovered UCB. Mm-hmm. Started writing shows and stuff.
And
sketch
then
comedy.
What drew you to, or what brought you out here? LA, that is.
I just had done, I feel like, everything in New York, and I felt like I was coming out here and doing jobs. And
how long ago did you move out here?
5 years. But Yeah, I was writing partners with Brett Gelman, that dude Brett, and so we'd come out here and we did a couple of jobs. We worked on Nick Cannon's TV show, Short Circuits, his failed sketch comedy show for MTV. We worked for a couple other things, and then it was just like, okay, I got to just come out here and do it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
where have you been happier, New York or LA?
Oh, LA's better, happier, more stable, more successful. Everything is great out here. It's great. You can't. I just feel like, in New York, I feel like I love New York, and I love going back there and being like, oh wow, remember this? This is fucking great. Mm-hmm. And it's like very emotional to go back there. And I lived there for 10 years. I mean,
where did you live?
I lived in Brooklyn the whole time, in all the different white neighborhoods, basically. Let's face it. Park
Brooklyn
Slope,
Heights, Park Slope,
Williamsburg, Fort Greene. I lived in Greenpoint, Sunset Park, which isn't really.
Did you live in Carroll Gardens
Fort Greene
or Cobble Hill?
No, never. Park Slope.
It's pretty white in Carroll Gardens and Cobble Hill.
That's true. Yeah, pretty white shit, man. So yeah. That's my story.
Wow.
No, but what was the question? I forgot.
I was asking where you're happier, and you were saying that when you go back,
LA.
it's
I love
emotional.
LA, man. I'm on board. I hated it when I first came out here, but yeah, I love it. It's great.
Yeah, I was there for 8.5 years, and I lived in Manhattan, and I lived in Brooklyn at the end. And I was kind of reluctant to leave, but my life is so much better out here and more just balanced. And I found that in New York, I was just so singularly focused on my career and on feeling anxious about my career and comparing myself to everyone. And just every day was kind of filled with stress. Whereas out here, it sounds insane because I don't feel like LA is a place where people have, amazing perspective, but it's easier to keep everything in perspective out here.
Yeah. The real difference for me, like professionally, is that people really want to do things and they want to make things and like collaborate and stuff like that. And you can easily find those people.
And versus
for
what?
free, like to doing things like getting, they'll work. They just want to like get things going. Like whether, I don't know, everyone's very motivated to do thing X basically.
Versus in New York, what was it like?
I feel like it was just like a little bit more solo, and everyone's growing and I don't know. Yeah. It was just a little bit more like I'm doing my thing. And yeah.
Did you become friends with Nick in New York?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We didn't start working together till I moved out here though. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's your family like?
My family's great. It's the Dalys. They're in Mars, PA now. They moved from Pittsburgh to Mars, which is north of Pittsburgh. And, my mom is, they're both retired. My dad has like a golf condo in Florida that he goes and plays golf at.
So is your dad into the other Jon Daly?
My
that
dad
must feel weird.
I mean, yeah, I think, my thing with the other Jon Daly is like, when I was 12, he came out, and I was like, wow, there's a famous guy named Jon Daly. That's cool, man. He's a good golfer, and he's like a drunk, and I love him. What's his deal? I don't care. He's funny, or whatever. And then I was kind of like, oh, man. And then I became a comedian, and then, I just wanted to become Jon Daly, so that's the deal with that. But
right.
What was I talking about before?
You were saying your dad has a condo and golf.
Golf condo. My mom is... My mom's great. Yeah, she was a shrink. And,
wow.
Yeah.
What? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, what were you going to say?
What is it like growing up with a parent who's a shrink? Because my just my grandfather was a psychoanalyst.
Yeah.
Fucked up the whole family.
Really?
And I feel like the tendrils of that still reach down into all of us. Although I believe very much in therapy and I'm super into it, but I just think growing up with a therapist is a unique experience.
It is unique, yeah. I guess. I mean, I've never known anything else, sort of, but my whole experience with it is my mom was kind of like a housewife after she had us kids. I have two brothers and older brothers, and so then she kind of got her PhD while we were kids, and then started practicing. So it was like, it was she became this thing that I very much respect. Like, she got her doctorate and like became a doctor, and then she like became her own thing. So it was this thing that I saw her do, and I was like, whoa, it was very inspiring to me, basically, you know? So that happened. And then other than that, you know, she is who she is. I don't know, you know, she's really great. You know, she's my mom, obviously, but you know, there is that she knows what the fuck is happening with she's very intuitive, and that's real. She's a very real, really innately intuitive person that has then gone and dedicated her life and her profession to being intuitive. So she's, you know, that's a person that has a strong fucking, they can exert their will.
Right.
So, you know, it's interesting. Yeah. But she's lovely. You know, she's the best. But when it comes to like growing up, like that effect, like I'm sure it had. But my parents were always very insanely supportive of me. So it didn't really affect that. They were always like, you want to be a fucking comedian? Yeah, do it. And then, yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah, my brothers were punk rockers. So they were psyched that I wasn't trying to do, my brother was in bands, and then my oldest brother was, you know, kind of in bands and just kind of like drifting around for a while. And so they were kind of psyched that I was psyched about something, you know.
Are your brothers still in bands?
My brother Matt is an artist in Chicago, and he and his wife run a thing called the Renegade Craft Fair that tours nationally and comes through LA twice a year. Come to that, and so they tour around with this Renegade Craft Fair. Craft maker, like Etsy style people come and just have tables, and it's gigantic. It's really cool place. And my other brother lives in Pittsburgh, and he is in IT, that runs the IT department of an insurance company. He's got 3 kids, and he lives in Morningside in Pittsburgh. He's the best.
And
Austin.
What did your dad do before he retired?
My dad was a surgeon, general surgeon. Yeah, doctor, gallbladder specialist. Well, he wasn't a gallbladder specialist. He was a surgeon, but he ended up helping to pioneer laparoscopic laser surgery after it came out, basically, gallbladder specifically.
I had laparoscopic surgery, not on my gallbladder, but still.
So my dad went around the world like teaching that. And
That's really cool.
When it came out, basically, he was like, oh, this will change everything. And it makes your hospital stay into overnight instead of 1 week.
Yeah. Did any of Matt, Austin, or you, trying to be better with names, did any of you guys consider medicine?
No. I mean, when I was like 5 years old and I was like, I'm a doctor, I'm going to go to Harvard. You know? But no, not for a second. I mean, as soon as I started acting, I think I did until I started, you know, I started acting, and then I was like, I did my first play, and then I was like, oh, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah. What was your first play?
Oh, it was the worst. It was The Crucible. I played John Proctor in The Crucible.
Dr. Drew, you're familiar with Dr. Drew.
Yeah.
Dr. Drew also played John Proctor, did he not?
That's
to
hilarious.
the best of my recollection, that is
I
who he
feel
played.
like that just came up.
Yeah. John
I like The
Proctor,
Crucible.
a very complicated role that should only be played by the likes of Daniel Day-Lewis, who played in the movie.
Yeah.
You know, played by a 15-year-old kid
Makes
with
a lot of sense.
a beard drawn on. So
Wait,
yeah.
now which one is John Proctor? Is he the one who's...
He's the lead. He's the guy.
He's persecuting her.
He's persecuted. No, he's persecuted.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. How embarrassing for me.
They
I was
accuse...
confusing The Crucible with Scarlet Letter for a second.
Well,
Wait, no, but Abby is...
There's a slave named Tituba. Okay?
Yeah, no, okay,
Tituba.
I have it right then.
Tituba.
And then there's,
And then she's off in the forest dancing and playing with some of the girls, who are then all accusing each other of being witches.
Right.
And then John Proctor accuses the system of being... It's McCarthyism. It's an allegory for McCarthyism. And he accuses I forget exactly, but the system of being... And then the judge is like, you must die now. And then he kisses his wife, and then it's like, peace out. It's fucked up, you know? It's like that Monty Python sketch was real, man. The witch thing, wow. They really nailed that.
It's really weighty stuff for
Pretty weighty.
that age.
Yeah.
Because we read The Crucible around that age
Yeah.
in school. It's interesting that they teach that at that time.
Yeah, it's like
really
all about
stays with
social
you.
justice. you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Anyway,
Yes. I was going to say something, but I completely lost.
that's
my train
cool.
of thought.
I hope I'm compelling enough, for...
You're
Am I
so
interesting?
Yes, you are.
Guys, tweet at me. I'm at Jon Daly, at JONDALY. I just want to know, am I interesting? Put that out there, Gary. Thank you.
Hey, you guys, it's me, Allison, from before. Don't forget to download part 2 on Thursday. If I were you, I would write it on your hand and also on your friend. And if you don't have a friend, write a Post-it and stick it on a stuffed animal or just anything that's nearby. Okay, enough of this. I love you. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Alison Rosen show? We had a good time, but now we gotta go. Thank you for choosing the Alison Rosen show. Alison Rosen is your new best friend. That's right. That's right. Those good times don't seem to end. That's right. That's right. Alison Rosen is your new best friend. Hey, do you know about the Alison Rosen show? We had a good time, but now it's time to go. Hope to see you next time for the Alison Rosen show. Yeah! Yeah, Alison Rosen is your new best friend.
This is Corolla Digital.